who I enjoy reading and following Marvel comic books, DC Comics, and DC Comics. And let's not forget Image. I like the man. There's a story with I think it came out last year where Thor searches the universe for the God Butcher, and it deals with him trying to find out who actually is killing all these gods around the universe. And if the reason I think that story is awesome is it goes into a place where many people believe that it's politically incorrect to question or think of such literature or art or ideas that a god could be killed. But if you happen to read up on that or see the story on that, the God Butcher, it's I believe it's a very creative way to approach without spoiling the surprise, because I was impressed with it. It takes a comic book to question these things, and that's it just made me think a lot. Think more than usual. Or just gave me a new question in my mind. Question, because even if there are gods, are there other gods that are more vengeful, more fair? Would you kill a god? So that was an interesting point of view. Now, a DC comic that I like is I'm not sure if it's the Batman, or is it? I don't know if it's a Justice League comic book or Injustice League. What is it? I forget the story, but I know it's DC's version of a Civil War, where it's basically Superman versus Batman, where Superman basically no longer agrees with Batman's policy of not killing the bad guy. And something tragic happens to Superman that basically breaks him, and he decides to attempt to rule the world. And some superheroes side with Batman, and others side with Superman. I like this comic book because again it goes into places where even our politicians or religious leaders choose not to go. Where what if you had a better leader that was more just or more violent with justice, or did deliver an effective blow to bad guys. You know, because from my experience, there's people that are just rotten. People that are just snakes, deceitful, and waiting to rob you. They don't want to work. They just figure that, fuck your feelings. This fucking gun's gonna either blow your brains out or you're gonna give me your shit. And then there are other people who just made very poor choices in life. And they ended up in prison for being a fool, and they're sorry. They've seen their mistakes, and they're like, fuck it, there's better stuff out there, and fuck, I have to go with the shame of being a convict, and they'll work on it. Not anymore. There's better things to do out there, better ways of living. So with this comic book, I'm not sure the series is called Injustice, but it just deals with how, man, to me, even though I'm a fan of Batman more than I was of Superman, on this issue, Superman I thought had the greater sense of justice and a more effective way of justice. And it's definitely not like the past comic books that are just stopping bank robbers or murder, but questions human beings. To me, after reading that comic, I thought, man, that'd be very dangerous to even have something like a Superman here. It's because if a thing like Superman existed and that it was emotional, well, whoever would be in charge of those emotions could control a big ass weapon like that. And who's to say that your country is more important than my country? Your neighborhood is more important than my neighborhood, or your family is more meaningful than mine. The reason I like following these comic books is I also think about it on a personal level. I think, man, it's should I forgive and forget, or are these is this a way of life? Can I handle this in a better way? So and Spawn comics. I remember the Spawn cartoon on HBO. I think some of the episodes are on YouTube also. But man, there's an issue where I think Todd McFarlane was told to cut down on the gore, because he had in that issue he had killed I believe a child molester, and it was doing all these violent acts to the little girl, and he was describing them in the comic book. And again, violence is a way of life, and at times it's necessary, but there's also a way that's very sick, that it's very ineffective towards a loving environment, a more caring environment. And I think that when stories share this side of mankind, that people will be just more aware. You know, if it takes a comic book story to remind you to lock the door, double lock the door, to look both ways when you cross the street, to not open the door to strangers at 3 a.m. in the morning that are wearing hoodies, to realize that maybe a firearm could save a life or prevent a crime. You know, if it takes comic book to remind you of that, I think it's awesome. And people can go back and forth as to, well, we shouldn't have firearms, the gun issue and all that. I think we could, at some point, we could agree that there are bad guys out there. And there are people out there that want to do you harm, either because of your skin color, because of the religion you practice, because of the candidate you support with your front lawn sign. People that are just looking just to hurt people. And I think these comics, when they show all this gore, all this, the stupid side of man, ineffective. Well, this side that should be that we should outgrow, that we're slowly going past it. That this shit is it's a problem. I'm glad that these comic books address such things. And yeah, that's why I like following, reading, and also even on a scientific level. Even though I have no degree in science, but when there's questions of time travel, of other dimensions, of other life forces in other galaxies, should they be hostile? Why would they be hostile? Even if there is a God, would there be something out there that's so evil that could rival it? So man, these stories from these comic books just bring up these questions. I'm trying to think about the point, how it was told to me before that I'd rather question something and say I don't know than to believe in a basic half-assed response of something, than to be fooled into something more simple. But here's again the Hulk, Incredible Hulk. Well, that's a Sentinel. And here's the Hulk, chilling out, taking a smoke break. That's my name on Facebook if you want to add me or follow me on there. Thank you.